one of everybody's favorite is Chuck Paty. And Chuck is North Carolinian, born and bred in Charlotte, and he was a 17-year-old high school senior when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. So when he heard the announcement on the radio that Sunday afternoon, he immediately woke his parents from a nap and told them he was joining the Navy. And they said, no, you're not. And it took him the rest of that day and into the night to convince his parents, especially his mother, who told him she didn't know what she was worried about. He was too little anyway, they'd never take him. And she was almost right. So the next morning, Chuck's daddy dropped him off on his way to work. He dropped him off at the recruiting station, and he got in line with the underage people. The recruiter told Chuck he was too young and he didn't weigh enough. So he gave him papers for his parents to sign and instructions to eat as many bananas as he possibly could. So Chuck said he didn't eat anything else. He went home and he ate bananas and ate bananas and ate bananas and ate bananas. And when he went by the next morning, he weighed enough. Barely. So when he left for boot camp, you know, boot camp's supposed to last a few weeks, couple months. He told his mom he would see her in a few weeks. Almost 3 years later, Chuck saw his mom. And that was when the North Carolina returned to the States for extensive road repair. And one of Chuck's favorite sea stories was about how he was assigned to his job and his division on the ship. So the North Carolina is divided into 21 different divisions. The sailors in each division worked together, slept together, went on liberty together, and their division determined their job on the ship. So when Chuck came on with this group of people, they had them all down in the mess hall, and the officer was asking them to give him 3 choices. What do you want your job to be? And Chuck said, I get a choice. So he'd always enjoyed taking pictures, so his first choice was photography. And when he was in high school, he worked in the print shop, so his second choice was the print shop. You know, the North Carolina has everything. It's like a little floating city. So he said, well, he'd just work in the print shop. And when they asked for his third choice, he thought about all the gunnery that he'd seen on the ship, every shape and size all over the ship. So he said he chose gunnery. So after all the new recruits had been polled and they were sitting down there waiting, and the officer's walking around handing out assignments, and he gets to Chuck and he said, Paty, you are now a radioman. So much for choices. So Chuck knew nothing about radio transmission, he knew nothing about Morse code, but he was a quick learner, and he was soon copying 40 words a minute. Wow. 50 words was the gold standard. Anything under 25, they booted you. So his job was extremely important because the messages did not arrive in plain language or ordinary words. Each series of taps designated a group of letters and numbers, so the radio men didn't even know what the messages were saying. And they didn't know if they'd made a mistake or not. So that would only be known when the message was sent down to the officers in the decoding room. So if the radio men made a mistake, the officers couldn't decode the message, and that could be deadly.